Hello and welcome to edupediaworld.com. Today we are going to study democracy at the global level. As we all know that all the countries of our world is not a democratic country. There are still so many countries which have military rule, which have monarchy. But what about the relationships between the countries? How we can apply unanimously universal law on all the countries for keeping peace. The democratic government of a particular country can make laws or pass laws for that particular country. But what about the other country? Can an Indian democratic government make a law, pass a law for Pakistan? No, it's not like that. No any particular government of a country can pass any law for other countries. They don't have these rights. Then what about democracy on the global level? How single government, or we can say a government organization, can have a relationship between the countries? What if two countries become enemies? What about the disputes which the two countries will have? Who will solve these? If there is no such government, then how can we apply the two features of democracy? The two features, they are that the ruler is elected by the people and the people have the rights to elect their ruler. They have basic political freedoms. There are many institutions in the world that perform these functions partially of such government. These organizations cannot command the countries and citizens like the government of that country can do, but this organization do make rules to have a check on what a government of a country should do or should not do. Such an organization is United Nations or UN. United Nations was organized after the World War II just to have a check on the differentiate between two countries, to solve the differences of two countries, to live peacefully, to have friendship among the nations, and to see the financial balance between the countries. There are many more works which United Nations have undertaken after being formed. It's a global association of nations to help cooperation in international laws, security, economic development, and social equality. The Chief Administrative Officer is the UN Secretary General. One of its part is UN Security Council. This is mainly meant for maintaining peace and security among the countries. It does not have its own army. It has 5 permanent members: United States of America, Russia, United Kingdom, France, and China. And other 10 members are elected by the General Assembly for 2-year terms. It means the total number of the member of United Nations Security Council is 15. But the real power remains with the 5 permanent members. And in these permanent members, US specially contribute most of the money needed for the maintenance of the UN forces. There is a major veto power given to these 5 permanent members, which means any of the country, any of the permanent member, if does not agree with the decision taken, it can say no. And because of this system, many other countries had protested and demanded that the UN should be more democratic. It means if 4 of the members have taken a decision and the one member disagree, then there is no mean of the decision taken. The second one is International Monetary Fund, or we can say IMF, and the World Bank. What does World Bank mean? As if we need a loan, if we want to have an account in the bank, we go to our nearest branch, we fulfill all the formalities, we submit all the required documents, and we get loans. We get our account opened. In the same process, in World Bank, a country gets its account open. Before lending, the World Bank do ask for the concerned government to show all its accounts and direct it to make its changes to be required in its economic policy, and then it lend money. And IMF is about the balancing of developed and developing countries, or we can say the financial balancing between rich and poor countries. They both have the same motto of raising living standards in developing countries. Till 1st September 2012, IMF had 188 member states, but they all do not have equal voting rights. The voting rights in International Monetary Fund is being given on the weightage of the money the country has contributed to it. Because of this, more than 52% of voting power is in the hands of only 10 countries: US, Japan, Germany, France, UK, China, Italy, Saudi Arabia, Canada, and Russia. And remaining countries have very little rights. The president of IMF has been selected by, or we can say it's conventionally nominated by the Treasury Secretary, or we can say Finance Minister of the US government. And he's always been a citizen of the United States. Democracy promotion. How do we promote anything? By going door to door? No. It's not a way to promote something. But recently, many powerful countries of our world, especially United States of America, have taken the task of promoting democracy. And the way they are promoting, I don't think we should agree. Even United Nations doesn't agree with them. Existing democracies should directly intervene in countries that are non-democratic to establish democracy by means of power? No, it should not be like that. They should not launch armed attack on non-democratic countries. But it does happen in case of Iraq. Iraq is a Western Asian country which became independent in 1932. Until 3 decades, it was ruled by military officers. And since 1968, it was ruled by Arab Socialist Ba'ath Party. And Saddam Hussein, he was a leading party leader, and he played a very important role in 1968 military coup. His government gave women the right to vote and several freedoms which were not given to them in other West Asian countries. He also abolished many traditional Islamic laws, and after becoming the president of Iraq in 1979, he too ran a dictatorial government, and like any other dictator, he used to suppress all the opposition to his rule. The US and its allies like Britain alleged that Iraq possessed secret nuclear weapons, and they invaded Iraq in 2003 and occupied it and overthrown Saddam Hussein from his power and installed an interim government of its preference. This invasion of Iraq was not authorized by UN Security Council, and according to the then UN Secretary General Kofi Annan, it was an illegal war. Now here are some questions we really need to think for our democracy. Please go through these questions and answer on your own. Try to answer on your own. Thank you.